If you're a driven entrepreneur with brilliant ideas but can't seem to finish any of them, starting new projects every week while your previous ones collect digital dust, this video will reveal how one book broke my cycle of endless starting and led to my first $1,000 month with less than 1,000 followers by teaching me that success isn't about motivation. It's about building the right habits. What's up, guys? I'm Eric, and today I want to tell you about the book that literally saved my entrepreneurial career. Now, I know what you're thinking, or I'm guessing what you're thinking. Oh, great. Another productivity guru telling me to read more books. But hear me out, because this isn't just about reading. This is about how Atomic Habits by James Clear transformed me from a serial project starter into someone who actually finishes things that make money. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how tiny habit changes can turn your scattered entrepreneurial energy into focused, profitable action. I almost quit entrepreneurship because of my habits. So let me paint you a picture of where I was 18 months ago. I had this habit, and I didn't even realize it was a habit at the time, of starting new projects every single week. On week 1, I would say, I'm going to create a course about productivity. Week 2, actually that ebook about marketing sounds better. And week 3, wait, what if I did a coaching program instead? This probably sounds familiar to you. But here's the crazy part. I was moving so fast, chasing ideas so frantically, that I never even took the time to write the ideas down. So I don't actually know how many projects I started, because every time I was all in. This was the idea, till it wasn't. That is, until it failed or I found something that was shinier, and then I'd be on to the next one. But here's the thing. I thought the problem was that I wasn't motivated enough, or I didn't have the right idea, or I needed better tools or a different strategy. I was completely wrong. The real problem was my habits. I had developed the habit of starting without the habit of finishing. I had the habit of excitement around new ideas without the habit of execution. Something I heard from Alex Hormozy, which stuck with me, was it's like you're playing a video game and you get to level 3 and you face a major boss and you die and have to start over. And instead of figuring out how to get past the boss, you look at your shelf and you see a new game and you say, I'm just going to go play that one. The excitement or the fun of starting something new beats getting past that 3rd level. And you're just a serial starter. You're not a serial entrepreneur, you're a serial starter. You consistently can get to level 3 and that feels fun to you because you know how to do it and you just do it over new businesses. That's why you can't get past the plateau. You just get stuck there. And my mentor could see that I was about to quit at this stage and that I was burnt out, frustrated, and honestly, I was starting to think maybe I just wasn't cut out for entrepreneurship. And that's when he told me about this book and said, read it. Don't start anything new until you finish it. Atomic Habits showed me I was missing the foundation. And I'll be honest, at first I was skeptical. Another productivity book, but what James Clear laid out was something that hit me like a truck. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And that's when it clicked. I didn't have a motivation problem. I didn't have an idea problem. I had a systems problem. I had a habits problem. The book taught me 4 critical things. First, every habit follows a 4-step loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. And I was stuck in terrible entrepreneurial habit loops without even knowing it. So my cue was seeing a successful entrepreneur online. My craving was wanting that success. My response was starting a new project based on what they're doing. And my reward was the dopamine hit of possibility or getting past those first few levels. But I never actually built anything valuable. I never got past the plateau that kept tripping me up. And the second thing I learned was the actual concept of what atomic habits are, which they're just tiny changes that compound over time. I was trying to transform my entire business overnight instead of building small, consistent habits that would accumulate into massive results. The third thing was that identity-based habits. So instead of saying, I want to have a successful product, I needed to become the type of person who builds and finishes products. Instead of outcome-focused goals, I needed identity-focused systems. And the fourth thing, the power of habit stacking and environment design. See, I was relying on willpower instead of designing my environment and routines to make good habits inevitable and bad habits nearly impossible. But here's the real kicker. The book didn't just give me theory, it gave me a practical framework I could apply immediately to fix my scattered approach to business. And now I have habits that actually help build my business. So here's what I did. Instead of trying to overhaul my entire entrepreneurial approach overnight, I started with one tiny habit. Every morning, before checking email, before social media, before anything else, I would spend 30 minutes working on one project. Not starting something new, not planning, not researching, just building, creating, or writing. That's it. 30 minutes, one project. But I designed my environment to make this habit stick. I cleared my desk the night before. I had the specific project file already open on my computer. I put my phone in another room. I used habit stacking. Right after I made coffee, I would sit down and work. And you know what happened? For the first week, it was fucking hard. My brain wanted to check email, start something new, get distracted. But by week 2, something shifted. The 30-minute habit had become automatic. And because I was making progress every single day on one thing, I started to see real results. Instead of chasing every shiny object, I focused on solving one problem I had personally experienced, helping entrepreneurs who were struggling with the exact scattered approach I had just overcome. The habit of daily focused work led to insights. The insights led to a framework, and the framework led to my first digital product, which was Find Your True North. But here's where it gets interesting. The more that I strengthened my execution habits, the more my identity shifted. So I stopped seeing myself as someone who starts things but can't finish them and started becoming someone who builds things that solve real problems. This identity shift changed everything. When you truly become the type of person who finishes valuable projects, you don't have to rely on motivation anymore. It's just who you are. And the greatest part is the results. I got my first $1,000 month, and get this, with less than 1,000 followers on all of my social media. All because I built the right habits first, then built a business on top of those habits. So here's what this means for you. You're watching this and you recognize yourself in my old patterns, jumping from idea to idea, starting but not finishing, and relying on motivation instead of systems. Then you need to understand something. Your business isn't broken. Your habits likely are. And the good news is that habits can be changed. And when you change your habits, you change your outcomes. So let me share the framework from Atomic Habits that did transform my business. The first is start stupidly small. Don't try to work 8 hours a day on your project. Start with 15 minutes, 30 or 45. Get a timer that can help you with that. It changes everything. Make it so easy that you can't say no. The second is design your environment. Remove friction from good habits and add friction to bad habits. If you want to stop starting new projects, clear your notes app and keep one project file on your desktop. And third, focus on identity, not outcomes. Instead of, I want to make $1,000, ask, what would someone who consistently builds valuable products do right now? And fourth, track the habit, not the result. Don't track revenue in week 1. Track whether you showed up and did the work. The book taught me that successful entrepreneurs aren't more motivated, they just have better habits. They've designed their days to make focused execution automatic instead of relying on willpower or drive. And if this resonates, here's your next step. See, I could keep talking about Atomic Habits all day, but the real question is, what are you going to do with it? Because the truth is, you already have all the knowledge you need to build a successful business. What you're missing is the system to consistently execute on that knowledge. That's exactly why I created the 21 Days to Products That Pay email series. The link is in the description below. It's going to show you how to bring these atomic habits into your business and build an aligned product that is profitable. And speaking of building momentum with small wins, you absolutely need to watch this video next. It perfectly builds on everything we just covered and shows you exactly how to capitalize on those early habit victories. And remember, you don't need more ideas, you need better habits. I'll see you in the next one.